Ago, in a village that rested on the bend of a wide river, there stood a drum no one dared to play. It was not like the drums used at weddings, or the ones children beat in play, or the tall talking drums that carried messages across the hills. This drum was different. It was kept inside the chief's hut, hidden beneath black cloth that smelled of old soil and smoke. No one touched it. Not even the chief himself. The elders told the people, that is the drum of the dead. It is not a drum for joy. It is not a drum for rain. It is a drum for silence. And silence must not be broken. Children gathered by the fires at night and whispered to one another. Their eyes shone wide as the sparks floated into the dark. They say if you beat it, the ground will crack, one child would say. They say the ancestors will rise without their heads, another would whisper. No, a third would insist, they will come with their heads but without their hearts. The old women who spun cotton shook their heads at such talk. Keep your tongue still, they warned. Words can carry themselves to the drum. So the people left it untouched. Through season after season, the forbidden drum sat in its darkness, listening, waiting. In that village lived a boy called Kofi. He was quick in his feet and quicker in his hands. He loved rhythm more than food. When the older drummers practiced, Kofi would sit near them, tapping sticks against the ground, trying to copy every beat. But the beat he wanted most was the one no one would give him. His ears burned each time he heard the elders mention the drum of the dead. His heart pounded whenever the chief's hut door opened and he caught a glimpse of the black cloth inside. One evening, Kofi asked the old drummer, a man with skin wrinkled like dried bark, "Grandfather, why can't we play the drum in the chief's hut? What makes it so feared?" The old man spat into the dust. "That drum is not for the living," he said. "Its sound does not call men or women. It calls what lies beneath them." But words only made the boy's curiosity grow. Like fire in dry grass, it spread until he could not put it out. One moonless night, when the village slept and the crickets chirped without pause, Kofi crept into the chief's hut. He pulled aside the cloth. His breath caught. The drum skin was pale, stretched tight as though it had been pulled from something that once breathed. Its body was carved with strange marks that seemed to twist under the flicker of his lamp. Kofi's hands trembled. He told himself, one strike. Only one. Then I will know. He raised his palm and struck the drum. The sound that came was deeper than any drum he had ever known. It rolled out like thunder, shaking the hut walls, traveling into the trees, across the fields, down into the belly of the earth. The dogs howled. The night wind stopped. The river seemed to hold its breath. The first to rise were the ones buried at the edge of the village. The ground swelled, cracked, and from it stepped feet made of bone and dust. They walked slow, as if remembering how to move. From the riverbank came others, shadows rising from water that did not ripple. Their eyes glowed faint as fireflies, and they whispered like wine through dry reeds. The forest gave more. Shapes slipped from the trees, thin and tall, with hollow faces. The night filled with their heavy silence. They gathered in the clearing, moving toward the drum's call. Hundreds of them. The ancestors, fathers, mothers, warriors, children, yet no longer flesh, only what remained after flesh. Kofi's mouth dried. His knees wanted to run, but his hands disobeyed. They lifted again and struck the drum. Once. Twice. The dead began to dance. Their bones rattled, their jaws clacked, their feet struck the ground in a rhythm both strange and strong. They turned and stamped, spun and leapt, their empty sockets flashing toward the sky. The village awoke in terror. People ran from their huts, screaming as they saw the dead dancing under the pale moon. "Who has played the forbidden drum?" the chief cried, his voice breaking like dry wood. But the drumbeat swallowed his words. The chief rushed forward with his staff, and the elders followed. "Stop the boy! Stop him!" they shouted. But Kofi's hands no longer belonged to him. The drum pulled at him, forced him to strike again and again. With each beat, the dead moved faster. They stamped so hard that the ground shook. Dust rose and swallowed the huts. Their dance tore the village fences apart, sent cooking pots shattering, broke roofs into splinters. The living fled, tripping over each other, crying out for mercy. But the ancestors did not see them. They danced only to the drum. Kofi's arms ached, but still he played. His eyes were wide and wild. Sweat poured from his body, but his palms kept striking the pale skin. At last, dawn's light broke over the trees. The village was gone, torn, scattered, empty. Only the boy remained, still drumming, his body trembling like a leaf. The ancestors circled him. Their hollow voices rose in a low chant, dry and rough like stone on stone. You called us. You kept us. You will not leave us. And before the sun climbed high, they dragged him down into the earth. The drum followed, swallowed by soil that closed again as if nothing had been there. To this day, people who pass near the river say that on quiet nights they hear it still, a faint beat under the soil, and bones keeping time in the dark. Moral lessons: never ignore any advice or warnings from an elder, take it serious no matter how it came.